So I bought this DB3 remote start system. It goes along with your keyless entry if you have keyless entry in your vehicle. If you don't have keyless entry, it actually has a lot of other stuff in here. You could use the RFTD or the Smart Start module. Those both you would have to buy separately. You don't need these if you have the remote start, but it actually tells you this works with your remote start when you're buying it. But if you don't have a remote start from the factory, you don't have to worry about it. You can always get one of these too. This is the wiring harness that came with it. I have a 2007 Dodge Dakota. And this piece here is the part that connects right next to your ignition switch. It just plugs in line. Super easy, plug and play. There's actually no wires there to plug in. You just plug them in here. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to wire anything. The only wires you'll have to wire is pin 5 and 6 on the 14-pin connector. You have to wire in this hood pin on the 10-pin connector. And on the 12-pin connector, you'll wire in the parking lights, the negative on the parking lights, and the negative on the door jamb. So it's all pretty simple. The way this works is they're counting from left to right, top to bottom on their pin connectors. Says orange and green is 5, orange and brown is 6. So what I did was I took those two wires here and pulled them aside. Any other wires that I didn't need, I taped up. And it counts like this. 1, 2, 3, which is that white and black one. 4, the straight white one. 5 is one of the wires that they tell you need. And 6. So I took these two wires, set them aside, and I taped all the excess wires up so that they didn't get caught or screwed in anywhere, get grounded out. Then on the other connector, the only two you need on this blue connector. It's all pretty much plug and play. On the red connector, which is your 12-pin connector, I believe, counts the same way. You count over the second one here is the one you need for your lights. It's the negative for your lights. And this one here is the negative for the door jamb. So you count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the second one. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's your 10th one. That's the way it says it here. And it also has a section on the other side of this page telling you where to connect your for your vehicle, for the positive wire on the fuse box for your lights. The 10-pin connector, all it connects to is the hood. That one's done. This one, the 4-pin connector, you don't need unless you're going to be doing any of this. And then you're going to jump to the next page and follow the instructions here. Plug in, connect the 10-pin, 12-pin, and 14-pin connector. Dball, then wait until the LED turns on solid red. So basically you follow these procedures. This 2 here, unless you have a push button start, then it's this one. And then on the next page, they got all this stuff X'd out. They say you need a professional. It's actually pretty self-explanatory. The next page, it continues. You use your 3 and your 4. Those are the procedures you need to do to program your DB3 or DB or DB2, whatever you end up getting. And it's all pretty simple. Like I said, the blue 14-pin connector, 5 connects to the 6th pin on your OBD2, and 6 connects to your 14th pin on your OBD2. They're both 2 pins in, according to this, on your OBD2. And we already talked about everything else, but it's all pretty easy. What I did to make wiring simpler, like I said, was I got all these wires taped up and tucked out of the way, the extra wires. That way, they don't get in the way. I don't screw through them, putting stuff back together. And I'm just going to take these wires here and run them down under the column here. I'll pull these out through the bottom there and finish up the installation. Anybody that's ever connected 2 wires together shouldn't need too much help with the rest of this. So that's my input for today. Have a good one.